March the 3rd, 2026. We're crossing here. Let's see if the screen snaps or not. So I'm using the YouTube app today. So let me know if there's any resolution issues or anything like that. I'm experimenting with seeing if Streamlabs is the problem. I haven't tried the YouTube app in a while. I was talking to some representatives from YouTube last week, and they couldn't give me any clarity if Streamlabs was the issue. I think a lot of people have noticed that, like it'll say I'm still live when I'm not. That's because it's Streamlabs. And thanks for people pointing out that, hey, Chicago, Illinois, United States, America, planet Earth here. We got about 39 degrees. Chris, how you doing there, Chris? Sabrina Suburban Garden there, Prince. Yes, ASMR. Thanks everybody for tuning in here. Yeah, let me know if the resolution's fine. I'm using the YouTube app. It's usually the resolution starts out good, and then like somehow along the way I'll go in between cell towers and then it'll degrade and I can't get it back. But we'll see if they made improvements. So Christopher Dotson, how you doing? Yeah. So Christopher Dotson, I know you use Prism, and I think this Gemini uses Prism, so maybe I'll start looking at the Prism. I think my Streamlabs is giving me some problems, but I'm using the YouTube app. Maybe I just need to update my Streamlabs. All these third-party apps, they have updates and things. But I hope you're doing well there. Yeah, check out Christopher Dotson. He's a live streamer in New York City. He's been covering not just the snow, but things going on in New York City. Here we got the elevated trains here. There's the brown line round the bend. We'll just head down Wabash. I'm heading down to the South Loop today, so we'll head straight down Wabash. There's Chicago Fire, soccer team, Elephant and Castle, Wabash, and Lake Street. So hey, yeah, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9. There goes the scooter there. There's the air horn. They got me. Blew the air horn. But here, Wabash Street, Chicago, Illinois. You get the wide sidewalks. Hey, Taco Smell, Air Tech, Caparati Sandwich Shop. Coming spring. This is new. Puerto Rican cuisine, e-burrito. So this is going to be an e-burrito. It's not going to be the sandwich shop. Here's the halal guys. Euro in chicken. But here, look at this nice view you get of the skyscrapers along Wabash. We'll see. Yeah, we get the Green Line coming by here. Look at that. Green Line to Harlem, which goes out west, goes towards Garfield Park, Austin, and Oak Park. Harlem there, Green Line. Moblin, M-O-B-L-I-N, live streaming. Holds better than Prism or Street. That's thanks for the good info, Christopher. I'll look into that. M-O-B-L-I-N, Moblin. Okay, we're mobiling along. Here's the electric unicycle. One wheel keep us together. There's the Green Line. Heading around there. Very nice. Good. So we'll keep going. There, Marshall Field Company. Waiting across the street here. So there's the Nederlander Theater. We were there this morning. We walked right through here. Hey, very lucky guy. Yeah, 6 foot, 7, 8, 9. That's the old joke there. Yeah, I got that. Very good. Yeah, Prism's okay. Yeah, there's positive, negatives, all these things. None of these apps. I mean, you have the same problem as me. If the YouTube app worked the way it should, we wouldn't have to use Prism or Streamlabs or Moblin to stream on YouTube. But here, there's the workers. There's the CTA workers on the tracks there. That's where they've been very nice there. That's why the trains have to go slow. They're working on the tracks. Hey, get your fur coat. Get your blue jeans from Macy's here. Here comes, so there'll be a train. Green Line coming this way. Green Line coming this way. If you like the CTA elevated train tracks, go down Wabash. You'll see all kinds of trains. Cat Staffer, how you doing? Dolores, thanks for tuning in. So we got horns, we got noise, Chicago, Illinois. There's the Green Line. 2 Green Lines in a row. Heading north on Wabash from Washington Street. Yeah. So we'll head under the scaffolding. There's the Pittsfield building. Got about 39 degrees, maybe 5 degrees Celsius. Here comes the green line the other way. Sorry. Trying to film the trains there. There's always people walking. There's the green line heading into the Washington Wabash station. It cracks me up. Like, I filmed that construction crane, and I'm glad that a lot of construction guys in the trades and the unions, they saw that and they were telling it's a 550-ton crane, it's a 770-ton crane. They were laughing at me because I didn't know what I was talking about. And they were like, you shouldn't go beyond the tape. I'm like, you don't know how long it is, how hard it is live streaming. I didn't intend to go beyond the tape. As soon as I realized that I got out of there, which is easy to criticize. I'm the same way. I criticize other people too. Because you either say something negative than positive. It's just the nature of human interaction. At least they're engaging some way. Here, Jewelers Row, Wabash, Stevens Building. Hey, you got the food trucks. Original Paytolin food truck. Yeah. Special today. 3 tacos. Taco Tuesday. Free soda. 3 tacos for $10 here. Go to the Paytolin food truck. Gorditos and tacos. Yeah, Taco Tuesday. Here we go. So, Madison and Wabash. Yeah, there's the Loop of Chicago. Paisanos. So, Millennium Park's over there. We're skipping. We saw the bean this morning. It's all cloudy yesterday. Today it looked much better yesterday. We saw the bean twice yesterday. You check out the reruns both on, well, just on YouTube. You can't check out reruns on TikTok. Hey, they use the LED lights underneath the loop here. I need to head up to Argyle in Uptown. They put some LED lights under those new stations there as well. I think Jody GT has filmed it. Other people have filmed it. We're heading by the dumplings place here. Jewelers Row, Wabash. Hey, look at these beautiful storefronts. I think one of these is a Louis Sullivan. I think it's that one. They kept these storefronts. Again, the heritage. When they built this building, they tore down the backs of these buildings, but they kept the facades. So we got the historical street facades, or the facades of the buildings there. Knoff, flat top. 36 South Wabash. That's where we're at. That's the 55 South Wabash building. School of the Art Institute of Chicago. So Art Institute, just a block over here. We're at Monroe and Wabash. Heading to the South Loop. There's a building down here on Wabash. It's probably completed construction or nearing complete construction. We saw it last year when it was started construction. I want to see if it's complete. So we'll take. Hey Wayne, how you doing there, Pete? Tony Moy. Yeah. The 78 Chicago Fire will have their grand banking ceremony today. Are they doing it right now? Are they going to go to the? Thanks for the good info, Tony Moy. Do we know what is there any indication what time they're going to be doing the groundbreaking ceremony for the 78 Chicago Fire Stadium? Is it now or is it like this evening for the news? I don't know if we got time to get down there. I'm heading that direction, but I don't know when and where they're doing it. Do they allow people to just go up there and film it? You don't have the time. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Thanks for the good info. Yeah, I'm excited about that development. I know some people are against it, some people are for it. It doesn't matter what. I'm just happy it's privately financed, that they're not asking the taxpayer. It'll be nice if they extend the Riverwalk in front of it. You'll be able to pull your boat up there. I know people are like, they're just building it for the billionaires, but at least they're building something. Not everybody that owns a boat's a billionaire. But You can take the water taxi there. That's what I'll be taking. That's my boat. Here we're underneath. This is Adams, and there's the Sears Tower. Sears Tower's right down there. We're under Adams and Wabash, leaving Chicago. We'll head down. Yeah, Cat Stafford, how you doing there? Everybody else, thanks for doing GMJ map. And if I missed anybody there, KLA, Wayne. Good, 2 p.m. Thank you. Thanks for looking that up, Tony Moy. So 2 p.m. VIP, very important personalities. Brandon Johnson will be there. Okay, 2 p.m. Thank you. So I appreciate that. Unfortunately, I got to be at work this afternoon at that time, but hopefully we'll see it on the news. And that's a good thing to check out. Here's the pink line heading out of the Washington Wabash station. Hey, the Exchequer Restaurant, famous pizza and ribs since 1969. There's the pink line going around the loop. Exchequer Restaurant, family owned. Hey, here's the central camera. Here's the great. Now here's probably where I'll lose my resolution. Usually I go between cell towers here right at the central camera. We'll try to film the central camera. This is amazing neon sign here. Sorry. And yeah, central camera since 1899. This is an historic place here, right in the loop. Hey, he's filming it too. Like the central camera here. What a nice camera store. The Chicago's oldest camera store. They got all the stuff there. Hey, I think he's live streaming it right now. See, that's my fellow live streamer there checking out the central camera. That's great. Hey, Blackhawks fan. Oh man, they got us. There's underneath the Wabash elevated tracks here. We'll get this train going by. Tennessee, how you doing there, Gene? Thanks for tuning in. So, yeah, we got the walk here. So, there it is, the brown line. The brown line heading north on the loop of Chicago here. So let me know how the resolution's doing. I'm using the YouTube app. So sometimes the resolution gets poor. Now we could do all kinds of stuff. I want to get you guys, so since we only get like 40 people now in the lunch bunch, there's only 40 people tuning in. We used to get hundreds. You know, I guess I'm losing my YouTube audience, which is fine. I might start doing Substack at lunchtime just to experiment with doing like blogs, like showing my face and talking about current events and stuff to get some content on Substack. So let me know if anybody's interested in that. If you don't already, you can follow me on Substack for free. I'm not asking anybody to subscribe. Do not subscribe. Do not pay money to these social media companies. You can. There's always a free option. Even I know people complained incessantly when I was doing super fan only TikToks, but you could still watch for free. You just couldn't comment, and that drove people nuts. But you know, yeah, you know. I still allow people to watch the live streams for free and watch all my reruns for free. You don't have to pay me any money. I'm not expecting anybody to subscribe or anything. The same with Substack. It's just I'm trying to get on multiple platforms because we can't rely on just one platform, even YouTube. So, you know, if I can get over 100 people to watch me on YouTube again at lunchtime, we'll go back to streaming more on YouTube. It's just since I went to New Orleans, somehow I'm being punished. The algorithm punished me for leaving Chicago, and YouTube will not allow. It will no longer let people discover my content here. So I'm limited to just the people that already know about me, which is you guys, which I appreciate that, and that's why I'm going back to TikTok in the morning and night, because somehow I'm being punished by YouTube, and I can't understand why. I talked to the reps, and I could just tell how they were talking about me. There was something they weren't telling me. I could just tell how they were talking. They pretty much told me to live stream on a different format, which is very strange for somebody to say I'm like, I want to live stream on YouTube. They're like, no, try a different platform. Try our competitor. I'm like, what? You're actually telling me not to use YouTube when I called you and asked you for help? Maybe I misunderstood how they would. You know, but no, Pete, stay on YouTube. That's fine. I'm still going to publish content on YouTube. I'm not leaving YouTube. It's just I'm very frustrated with YouTube. So I go from being frustrated with TikTok to being frustrated with YouTube. So I'm just used to being frustrated all the time. I'm used to that in America. We're frustrated. There's nothing great about America. I'm just frustrated. America's so great. I'm frustrated every day. I'm supposed to be happy. Endless wars, stupid wars, another stupid war we're in for no reason. The Secretary of State can't even give us a real reason. He said we had to attack because Israel was going to attack. What kind of reason is that? But here we're underneath. Here's Ida B. Wells. Here's Ida B. Wells, which used to be Congress Parkway. We'll head to the South Loop. I'm going to check on some new development down here. We got what time we got here? See, this is another reason I don't like the YouTube app. It doesn't put the time on there. I have to check my other phone for the time. 12:11 in the these people are trying to cross. You get stuck out there in the middle. But here, we'll keep going here. Hey, we got to walk. So here, here's the 3 lanes each way. They took the sidewalk and then they put the sidewalk under the building, so they actually took the underneath the building. There's a Hostel International here. And now we're finally in the South Loop of Chicago. The elevated tracks will go in the alley, and we'll continue down Wabash past Buddy Guy's Legends and check on this new development. Student Center for Success, Academic Center for Tutoring. Aisha, how you doing there? Sheridan, thanks everybody for tuning in. Christy, how you doing? Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in and checking out her. Everything has been weird since the brief yeah, you're right. I hear cats that something happened. Either they got hacked or something weird's going on. And that's exactly what coincided with I remember that night. People couldn't make comments, and my audio was cutting in and out, and that's when I switched. That was last week. Yeah, you're right. So we'll see if they can get things back. I wonder if it has something to do with this war too. That wouldn't put it past me that they don't want people talking about the war on the interwebs. I think that's something else going on, but we'll never be able to prove that. We'll file that under the conspiracy theory, which there's always a conspiracy theory. But here we'll cross. Where are we at here? Harrison Street, 600 South Loop of Chicago. I'm on my lunch break here. Hey, there's Jerry Garcia, KC1. So here's this new construction. I'll cross the street so we can see it. And here we'll get the train coming through here. Yeah, look at that. There's the orange line heading through in front of the murals here, the Harmony mural. Harrison Street, Loop of Chicago here. Or coming out of the loop. It's heading down to Midway, an orange line. That's Ernie's line there. Hey, train goes one way, one goes the other. Here goes a green line. Heading over. The whole curve. They kind of smoothed out this curve to be a sharper bend, but they smoothed it out. It goes in front of those murals there. There's the Roosevelt University. Chris and I went inside there before we hopped the Amtrak. Let me cross the street here. This is this new construction I came down here to check out. We checked this out about 6 months ago. There, look at that nice scene. Heading up Wabash there. Beings of the city. There. Yeah. See, that's the Roosevelt University, the old auditorium building. They added those extra floors there. Cause weight on the building. Sunk on that side. Harold's Chicken. Here's Harold Chicken, Himalayan restaurant. Here's this new development. They just built this. So this is new residential development. South Loop of Chicago. It's Wabash in between Harrison and Balboa. So it looks like it's nearing completion. Probably open next year. They got a parking deck below with residential housing above. Here, Columbia College is all around here. Averill and Bernard Leviton Gallery, Shop Columbia, New Year, New York. There's a bunch of art galleries in here. There's so much, yeah, Columbia College, the visual arts, the media. Look at all the nice artwork we got here from Columbia College. Quincy Wong, Center for Artistic Expression here, Columbia College of Chicago, very creative. Brunswick Corporation headquarters. So you ever go bowling, you see Brunswick? Brunswick Corporation headquarters. For over half a century, this building housed the headquarters of Brunswick. Fire destroyed it. Chicago's only continuous independent public. Brunswick. Leisure. This is the Brunswick building. So here it is, the new construction. Let's check out this. Yeah, so the Brunswick is the Brunswick building. Look at the detail. We almost got to cross the street to see it. Maybe we'll see it on the way back. But here's the artwork here, Columbia College. We got 39 degrees. We'll say 5 degrees Celsius. There's that new construction. There's the Warehouse Liquors. There's the Reskin Theater. It's called the Mural Reskin Theater. DePaul University runs it. There's the Kamala Harris I'm Speaking mural. Here, let's check out Buddy Guy's Legends. Here, I hear the train going through here. So there it is. There's the oops, how you doing? That guy was gonna run me over, even though we had the light there. I know he would run me over and dance on my grave. I know. Here's get out of his way. You're in my way. But here, Buddy Guy's Legend. So, Buddy Guy. Remember we saw Buddy Guy with Grim Evil and Ernesto at Navy Pier. He was playing with his daughter. Buddy Guy's Legends. That was in September. But here, let's check out the calendar here. Buddy Guy's Legends, Balboa, and Wabash. Let's see. Here, let's keep going here a little bit. Let's see if we go all the way to Roosevelt. Keep heading south on Wabash here. 41 degrees, Hazlet, Michigan. Yeah, Aisha, thanks for tuning in. Tara's tuning in, that's good. How's the resolution? Is the resolution looking okay? I'm using the YouTube app, so I'm seeing if this helps out. We're up to 60 people. If you like this content, hit the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And we're continuing our lunchtime walks here on YouTube. Yeah, did you see that? Yeah, Lambie, you saw that. Yeah, we went to Navy Pier there. That was a really good night there. Buddy Guy with his daughter. Hey, look at the train. There's the Green Line. Heading through the alley. That's in between State and Wabash here. See it stop. Look at this mural. Look at the rabbit. There's the rabbit. Columbia College mural. Hey, look at these. Look at that scaffolding. So here's a big theater for Columbia College here. We'll check it out once we get to the corner. We're at, what is this? Getting towards 12th Street maybe. 11th Street, 10th Street, I don't know. Columbia College. Sometimes they got posters on the side here. There's the train. There's the Orange Line heading to Midway here. So hey, welcome to Chicago. Here's the Columbia College Theater. And we're at 8th Street and Wabash, loop of Chicago. What time we got? Let me take this phone out and put it in the other pocket so I don't have to keep digging down into my pants here. Let's see, 12:19. We're 12:19 into PM. Hey, Grandma's Corner, One Gold Nubian. Thanks for tuning in there. We tried to get footage of the trains in Boston. It's hard. See, Tara, it's hard to catch the action moves quick in the city. Trains move quick, but hey, thanks for trying to film the trains in Boston. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've taken the transit in Boston from the airport to the downtown and Fenway Park and all that. I know you're not a Red Sox fan. I think you're a Yankees fan, which is good. Here's Yeah, South Loop of Chicago. There's that 1000M. The weather's supposed to get nice over the weekend, but it's going to rain. I mean, by nice, I mean warmer, but it's going to rain. I guess rain's better than snow. So we got 10 seconds to get across. Turn in here. I heard that train coming. Let's see if we get the train right here. Look at the beautiful columns here. Look at the detail on the columns and around here. There comes the train. I can hear it. Yeah. Orange line, orange line. So you got to be quick. The trains come quick. Before you get the camera out, it's gone. You got to be filming the entire time. So here, there's the store. K-pop Nara, K-pop. It's a K-pop store. So many K-pop stores. Here, Fairbanks Morse and Company building has been on the National Historic Register 1906. So 1906, Fairbanks and Morse Company. Look at this beautiful detail. Revival Improv Theater. Hey, the Revival Improv Theater. Look at that. There's the mural of the deer. Deers are kissing. Look at these buildings on Wabash. I remember the Prairie Avenue bookstore used to be around here for architects and engineers and city planners. It was rare to have a bookstore dedicated just to architecture books, but we lost that. Lost it to Amazon. Thanks, Jeff Bezos, for ruining the world. I'm glad your Washington Post paper's in the gutter there. WGN News is having a bad time. It shows you the media, you know, in this weird media world we're in right now. Severe competition. And here at Columbia College, there's the 1000M. See how it flares out. Yeah. Yeah, maybe someday, Aisha. Well, at least you're visiting it virtually. I wish I could visit India, but I don't have the money to go over there. And now that these wars are picking up, I don't, you know, it's hard to, you don't want to be flying and be stuck at a Mideast airport in Dubai on my layover, you know, with the bombs raining down. Yeah, that's not good for business. Yeah, look at these buildings here, South Loop of Chicago. So we're Wabash and 11th Street. Sabrina Schoenberg, acting major. Geraldo Franco. These are people that go to Columbia College here. Columbia College bought so many buildings in the South, but actually helps out the South Loop because otherwise a lot of these buildings would be vacant. But Columbia College, not just for housing, but for their college, it's all spread through the South Loop. And it's not just Columbia, Roosevelt, DePaul University has stuff down here, and even the University of Chicago. Yeah, I would love to visit India. So we have a friend of ours that live streams in Chicago. His name is Dan Cruz. Aisha, I don't know if you follow Dan Cruz. He has drone images with the drones. He experiments with cameras, and he was in India. He went to the Taj Mahal, but he went to a lot of other places in India and took the tuk-tuks and got some amazing footage of India. So Dan Cruz, if you don't already follow Dan Cruz, please, Aisha and others, check out Dan Cruz. He's a Chicago content creator. He flies the drones. I think Ernie has a drone too. And maybe someday we'll use Ernie's drone to get some nice footage. He could put the camera right. I think Nick Hoykin has a drone too. But here we're at Low Country Seafood. There's this building. We're almost down by, I'm just going to go to Roosevelt, which used to be 12th Street. We'll head right back to Grant Park. We'll walk through all those statues with the legs, sculptures, and we'll see if anybody's at the skate park. Trader Joe's. Hey, thanks for tuning in here on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up if you like this. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, DT. We knew his ego would just keep going. They were emboldened by their success in Venezuela. They thought they could just do regime change, but it's not as easy. It's easy to get into war. It's hard to get out. And the other side has the last say usually. Here's yeah, look this is how far we came. So when we started, we were way up by the Trump Tower. Now we're like 2 miles south, full 2 miles south of where we started. Or at least a mile. No, we're only a mile south. We're only a mile south. There's the Roosevelt station. The orange and green lines above, the red lines below. The red line subway, you could transfer the red line subway, but you got to go below. Here we're at Roosevelt, 1200 south, Wabash, 44 east. There's a Jewel Osco. There's some more housing to South Loop. Here's South Michigan Avenue. So I'm in the bike lane. Let me get out of the bike lanes here. And there's a gas. Here's your check on Chicago gas price. It is a little cheaper here. $3.44. It said $3.59. They just there, $3.59 here. Gas prices. We're continuing to monitor gas prices. See how they got a nice two-way bike lane to connect to the lakefront bike path. Roosevelt going west has bike lanes heading west. You could transfer over to Cermak or 18th Street, and we'll head over to these statues in Grant Park. They put these little words and stuff in here. Explore. Yeah, don't forget about the Epstein files. I think a lot of this war we'll never be able to tell if they started a war to distract from the Epstein files, you know. And so Savannah Guthrie's mom is still missing. The Epstein files are, you know, it's pushing it out of the headlines. There's other stuff that's getting buried. There's still ICE activity in Minnesota. There's still crazy protests and weird tackling of people, citizens in Minnesota going on. So it's to distract from people talking about that stuff. So we'll continue to keep an eye on multiple things. We can chew gum and walk at the same time. Here is yeah, this is the South Loop. We got to wait for the light to change here. And so yeah, welcome to Chicago. You get to the red line, orange line, green line. It's all in the Roosevelt station. Here, let me switch my phone here. No, I'm gonna quickly try to do some stock trades here. See that the market never. I was correctly on the right side that the market sold off, and it keeps selling off more than I thought it would. So, hold on a second here. I don't even know if I can. I can't even stop this. So we'll just keep going. I'll do it when I get back to. We're waiting across the street here, so we'll get into Grant Park. We're at Roosevelt and Michigan Avenue. This is South Michigan Avenue. Thanks for tuning in. And here we'll get the walk. We got the left turns here. So remember when we walked back from McCormick Place when I went down to the auto show? We walked up Michigan Avenue all the way from McCormick Place. We came up that way. So that's South Michigan Avenue in Chicago, part of the South Loop. See how you can look all the way up. We'll see the street wall. So I'm going to head all the way back to the B. So we're going to walk all the way north along Michigan Avenue, and we'll end up in Millennium Park. And we'll start it by these sculptures. Here, we've gone through these before. Here's the housing on Roosevelt near Soldier Field. Soldier Field's behind this in the museum campus. Eventually, the tallest tower is supposed to be a fourth tower. We just haven't started it yet. Wow, you can see. So here we are all the way down at Roosevelt. That's the 400 North Lakeshore. And that's about over a mile north of us. There's the 1000M. Hey, thanks Barbara Berg. Thanks for checking out the YouTube option. Yeah, we'll continue to do the lunch bunch on YouTube. And I could do the stream on YouTube and transfer over to Substack. That's probably what we'll do, instead of streaming on Substack, which has problems, at least for me. So this is a sculpture. I think it's called Agora or something. And it's we'll get you the name of the artist. There's a plaque over here, but we're walking through the sculpture here near Michigan and Randolph, South Loop of Chicago. We're in Grant Park, actually. There's the Sears Tower. So we're south of the Sears Tower. There's the 1000M, 1000 South Michigan Avenue. Here's a skateboard park. There's probably not too many people here today because it's Tuesday in the middle of the day, but sometimes there's a lot of people here using the skate park. Yeah, Chicago's always full of surprises. Yeah, Aisha. Yeah, I've walked through these at night. It's kind of freaky. Yeah, here's a skate park. There's a guy filming there. I don't see anybody using it. That's good. So here we'll check it out here. I just want to see what it looks like. So here's the skateboard park. When the weather heats up, this is well used. I filmed it many times from over there. See this, there's a pedestrian viaduct that gets you over the 12th Street station on the Metro. And you can look it up. The woman's name, it's like a Eastern European name. I can't think of it. Hey, Naya, how you doing there? Yeah, we get her steps in. Yeah, I don't know if I can keep up this pace. I'll have to switch. Eventually, I'll have to switch like Tom Powell and just start. I'll create a studio in my apartment and have like the reverb with the microphone and just sit in a chair and talk about current events, which is great. He does a great job. I might have to do the same thing when I get my legs give out and I'm getting bow-legged anyway. Lisa, how you doing? Hippie spirit. Hey, I like that. Thanks for having the hippie spirit. That's good. So the Grant Park Hotel. Yeah, let's walk by. So I've talked to Kevin Gallagher about this. When the '68 Democratic Convention happened, this is where the hippie and yippies mustered before the whole world is watching police riot that I'm sure you've seen on history documentaries that happened here when the 1968 Democratic Convention happened in Chicago. That was after Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy were assassinated earlier the year. Robert Kennedy was a leading contender for the presidential nomination that year, and he was assassinated. And then it was Hubert Humphrey against Nixon. So they had the Democratic Convention down at the International Amphitheater, which is down by the stockyards, Union Stockyards. They since demolished it. There's the 1000M. But this is a statue to a Union Civil War general. Was his name Moore? Let's see what his name was. Maybe I got his name wrong. But there's famous pictures of the hippies gathering. They put the Vietnam flag on top of it. And look, there's a kite stuck in the tree. Let's walk up this mound. Let's see what the view looks like. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. Thanks, Grandma's Corner. Yeah. Jessica, how you doing? Naya Papaya. Yeah. Doing good. Yeah, Raven, how you doing? We're in the Grant Park here. You might recognize this statue from the 1968 Democratic Convention. Why do people got to make so much noise with their cars? People just like making noise. I guess people say the same thing about me talking loud in the street. They say, why you got to talk so loud? I said, okay, trying to talk over the traffic. That's why. Here it is. So this is a statue to a Civil War general. His name was Logan. That was close. General John A. Logan, Major General, State of Illinois. So I guess he's for the Illinois Union forces. And look at this nice view. You get to the South Loop skyline. There's the 1000M, last building designed by Hellman Jan, architect. That used to be where Everdeen Jet, it's a historic building. It's a mid-century modern those wide windows, and that's residential. Here's the landscaped area, and that's where we're heading. Millennium Park's up that way, so we're gonna walk right up there. And but there it is. Does that look familiar? And so here we'll head down these stairs. We'll go right at Michigan Ave. Let's see what time we got here. 12:35 in the PM. We got about 39 degrees, and We're at Michigan, and is this 9th Street? Michigan and 9th, we'll say. Chicago, Illinois, United States of America. UK, how you doing? That's okay. Rob on the road, we know you. That's okay. You got to take time off. Chris and I went to New Orleans, and I've been streaming on TikTok now because my YouTube algorithm's all messed up. We think the YouTube app's messed up, but I'm streaming on it now, and we'll see if it is the resolution okay. Is it look pixelated, or does it look like it does on Streamlabs? See, there's that Ebony and Jet. We're in there. They still have it on the roof. You can see it from the train or the metro when you go through the trough there. But there's the train. It's hard to see. But here's the Essex Inn, and there's the Hilton Hotel that was used in The Fugitive. We've gone inside there, and we'll head up Michigan Avenue. East West University, Japanese hand roll bar. It's not pixelated. Good. Thanks, Cat Stafford. Thanks for the feedback. That's good news. So at least something's working. At least the YouTube app's working. So we'll continue to roll with this. We'll see how it works. Yeah, USA Planet Earth. You got it. There's a USA on Mars. I guess that's for Elon Musk. Here's the Essex Inn. There's the Hilton. This was the largest hotel in the world when it was built. Chicago had a lot of larger stuff around 1929. But then, of course, Las Vegas and Macau casino hotels are much bigger. But and this was, it was also used for convention space. They have those big ballrooms that you could see in the Fugitive movie inside there, and a lot of bars and restaurants. This will be packed this summer. Kitty O'Shea's is right there. Here we're on Michigan Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. 39 degrees. We're heading up to the Millennium Park from the south to the north. Big Ten, March 10th through 15, United Center. So the Big Ten Championship's going to be at the United Center March 10th through 15th. So there'll be people coming in to watch those games before the March Madness. Get your brackets ready. I think people want a distraction from this stupid war. Yeah, Rob on the road. Devo Soshi, how you doing? Hey, walking the dog. Look at that detail. Very neoclassical. Go on the inside there. So Balboa and Michigan. So why does Chicago have a street named Balboa? In the 1930s, like 1933, before World War I, Italy, Mussolini had recently rose to power in the 1920s. The fascist regime of Benito Mussolini. They invaded Ethiopia because Italy wanted to have their own little empire. So where else to do it? Go invade some African nation. And the Italian aviation had recently created a flotilla of planes that they wanted to demonstrate the newly, military prowess of Italy. So they flew across the Atlantic in 1933 to play a diplomatic mission in the United States, and Balboa was the commander that led the flotilla. They landed in Lake Michigan with these pontoon boats, and Lambie T, listen to this, they put a Native American headdress on this fascist Italian guy. So the images we have of Balboa when they dedicated, still this day, we have a street named after an Italian military leader from the fascist Italian regime, and they put a Lakota Sioux headdress on him and dressed him up like a Native American. And they thought that was cool in the 1930s because, Americans were dumb about cultural appropriation at that time, and still are to this day, including me. And so that's Balboa, and they named a street after him. And there's over by Soldier Field, they later brought a Roman column that's over 2,000 years old, and they gave it to Chicago from the Roman times. And they said, friendship between Italy and the United States, but it was the fascist regime under Benito Mussolini that allied with Hitler. And so they kind of got it buried behind some bushes. And this is interesting. We're talking about this. This is the Spiritus Museum. This is the Joyce and Avram Gray Family Education Center. This is the Spiritus Center. It's a museum to Jewish culture and learning. And it's interesting that they got Balboa right there. Never changed the name, just like Columbus Drive, still called Columbus. I know the Columbus statue's gone, which is very controversial. I know the Italian American community still laments that. I did stream the Columbus Day Parade last fall, so I gave equal opportunity to the Italian American community and didn't want to exclude them from their cultural heritage as well. So here's Michigan Avenue, and we'll wait for the bus to turn here. Here, let's go around this way. We'll go around the circle here. We'll go up by the Bowman and the Spearman. We'll get the Congress Hotel. Congress Hotel's haunted. We've gone inside there. We've gone in the Gold Ballroom. You got like Shining vibes. Niecy's tuning in. That's good. Yeah, I agree with that, Lambie, and that's why I pointed that out. People, they misunderstood. They regular Americans, including me, didn't understand that those were earned through battle and through honors of the feathers. And only, like when people go to raves and rock concerts, they'll wear Indian hairdresses thinking they're cool and it looks fashionable. It's not cool. It's disrespectful. It'd be like putting on a military uniform and you're not in the military, and you got to respect that, even if with other countries and other cultures. And that's why I point that out, that it's so sad that the images we have of Balboa from Italy, it's black and white from the 1930s, and I don't know why they thought that was an honor to do that, But same with these. This is the Bowman and the Spearman. They're sculptures. And the artist purposely left the weapons out. People always thought they removed them. No, the artist left the weapons out. That's the Spearman and that's the Bowman. Again, these are idyllic images of what the colonizing cultures thought of indigenous people. And, that's why this is here. And here we'll cross Congress Plaza. There's the Congress Hotel. This used to be Congress Parkway. Now it's called I.W. Wells. It's renamed in the honor of I.W. Wells, both for social justice and civil rights and for women's rights. She was a I.W. Wells. Here's Congress Hotel, which women's rights are human rights too, just like civil rights and minority rights. They got this right there. You can see over at Northern Island, they got these sculptures with the sprites there. But here there's the Spearman. There's the Spearman here in Chicago, so we'll cross. Thanks, Lambie. I'm glad you heard that. That's why I wanted to explain that. And hopefully I did it right. Thanks for your comment there. So here we'll head back to Michigan Avenue. And Lambie, I really am committed to later this year, probably this spring, we'll head up to, I'll see when they're having a powwow at the American Indian Center at Kimball, up by Lawrence. You take the Brown line, there is a Native American, it's called the American Indian Center here in Chicago. It's a cultural center for Pan-American Indian, Native American culture in Chicago, because so many, in the 1950s, the United States had a program where they would train people from the First Nations of America to have industrial jobs in the city. It was a continuation of the flawed Dawes Act, the Dawes Act in Oklahoma that forced Native American nations and tribes onto land. They tried to turn everybody into a farmer 40-acre lots, and it continued in the 50s, where they thought, oh, if you get an industrial job working in the factory, you can assimilate into the white man's culture, and so many indigenous people moved into the cities. And that's why there's a joke, there's Indians from the res and Indians from the city, and Indians from the city, we all sold out. But my ancestors are Millennium, so it's all mixed up. It's so far back that I'm proud of, but I've lost the connection with my culture, which I look at it now. I'm very interested in it, but I wasn't immersed in the native culture. I was immersed in the public schooling from Indiana, the state of Indiana. Hey, look at this tree. So I guess I never saw this tree. I guess they had it decorated for Valentine's Day. This looks like a Valentine's Day tree or a Christmas tree. Maybe it's a Christmas tree. What is this? Let's read the sign here. So it actually has a sign, and maybe it's a memorial. This is called it's a Maranitsa tree. It's called the Maranitsa trees. Anybody heard of this? Martenitsa, Maranitsa tree. The 1st of March, Bulgarians. This is Bulgarian. So on the 1st of March, Bulgarians celebrate a beautiful tradition called Baba Marta, or Grandma's March in English. Welcome the approach of spring. On that day, Bulgarians exchange Martinitsas, hopefully I'm saying that right, wishing good health and happiness to family and friends. The Martinitsas is made of twined red and white threads, where the white symbolizes strength, just like that, and purity and happiness. The red is associated with health and fertility. So look at all these red and white intertwined threads. They got the little doll there. In 1992, the artist Marian Minilov started decorating trees red and white. A new tradition spread to Bulgarian communities all over the world. By decorating the tree, the Bulgarian immigrants to Chicago and their vicinity send their best wishes and happiness to the prosperity of the city and the people that open their hearts to welcome their communities. Look at this nice tree. So this is Bulgarian culture. I did not notice this. They just put this up March the 1st. It almost looks like dream catchers. Look at the, which is Ojibwe, but this is Bulgarian from Europe. And it's a European culture that immigrated here to the United States. So hey, let's keep on going. Sassy Native, she covers the live powwows. Yeah, thanks, Farm Boy. Yeah, there's a lot of people that post the powwows live stream the powwows on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, which is great. I've watched some of them too. Yeah, you can watch. There's always powwows going on somewhere all the time. And isn't that great? People, they compete in the dance contests, beat the drum, communal drum. There's the Motorola building. There's the mentioned skyscrapers. We'll head by the Art Institute of Chicago. How's everybody doing? Yeah, see you, Naya. I know we got to get back to work. I guess it's getting close to 1 o'clock, right? Let me check the time here. Oh, we're okay. 12:48. So I got 12 minutes to get to the bean. We're not cooked yet. So that's called the Metropolitan Tower. I think that's what they call that. So here, Jackson Drive and Michigan Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Sears Tower's that way. Jackson will get a better view of it at Adams. So they're going to move the Route 66. They're going to move the Route 66 sign to Navy Pier. I don't know why they're doing that. They should keep it where the historical location, which is here. I don't like when they do that. They're just moving it so tourists that go to Navy Pier that won't come down here, you know. Let's see. I'm actually against it. I wish they would keep the Route 66 here where it's historically started. It didn't start at Navy Pier. But there's that statue to the 5 Great Lakes. That's it. This is in one of the gardens here at the Art Institute of Chicago. We'll go right by the Lions here, so we'll go by there's the Symphony Center, Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, Schubert, Wagner. There's all the symphony orchestra plays there. 200 South Michigan, we're near there. We're going by the Art Institute of Chicago, Adams, and Michigan. Thank you. April the 24th, 25th. will be the last dance gathering of the nations in Albuquerque. Thanks, Lambie. Wow. The last dance for the Gathering of Nations in Albuquerque. That's near you. So, hey, yeah, I want to. We'll look for some content. I'm sure people will be streaming that or posting content. So we'll look for that. Thanks for the good info there, Lambie T. There it is. So here's the lions. There's the lion sculptures. And there, Bruce Goff. They got a exhibit to Bruce Goff. Maybe we'll check it out. We saw the grave of Bruce Goff. It's really near where, see, there's the Route 66 begin sign. Bruce Goff's grave is really near Ernie Banks' grave in Graceland Cemetery there. There's the Route 66 begin sign. This is the Art Institute of Chicago. So the Route 66 begin signs right across. For now, they want to move it to Navy Pier, and I don't know why. But here's the lion. Here's the lion in front of the Art Institute. One of the two lions. The lions in front of the Art Institute of Chicago. One of the symbols of Chicago. People recognize that. Just like the bean or the water tower. It's a symbol of Chicago. Yeah, the big kitties. The two cats that guard the entrance to the Art Institute of Chicago. Look how they added floors to this building. The building, and it's just like they put another building on top of that building. Just kept on going. Yeah, the beauty of Chicago. Thanks for checking out. School of the Art Institute of Chicago. These buildings have big atriums and stuff in them. There's the Monroe Building, and that's University Tower. That's a private club. Hey, I guess the YouTube app's working better now, so hopefully this will continue. Maybe I can just skip using Streamlabs and stick with the app if we're only going to use it for lunchtime and special occasions where we film like a long, continuous stream. But I'm sure I'll get tired of TikTok. I'll probably get banned from TikTok. We'll be back on YouTube, Lickety Splits, don't worry. I need to manifest positivity. I know people are like, don't be so pessimistic. You're like, I'm manifesting bad stuff. But here, we'll head through Millennium Park. We were here this morning. I'm just heading back to work. We'll round out our walk. So thanks for, if you missed any of this, you can watch the full live rerun on the live tab. I know no one has time to do that. I don't expect anybody to do it, but I cut out clips from all that. There's the Chicago Athletic Association. Here's the Gage group of buildings. Louis Sullivan designed these. These used to be hat manufacturers. Even the Willoughby Tower, they used to be haberdasheries and hat making companies when everybody used to wear a hat 100 years ago. Hats were very important. You look at those old photos, there'd be 1,000 people in the picture. Everybody was wearing a hat, either a pork pie hat or a woman's hat with a feather in it, or they killed a bunch of birds to make a hat. This is the Crown Fountain. So in summertime they spit out water, but at least they cycle the faces. These are all Chicagoans that have volunteered to put their face on there. Well, thanks, Aisha. So yeah, I'm still streaming at lunchtime on YouTube. Thanks for missing me. And I'll continue to at least once a day. My plan is at least once a day, probably at lunch. Hopefully this is a good time for you. I think it's much later at night for you right now. Even when I stream in the evening on YouTube, you're probably sleeping. If you're in India, you can probably catch my morning live stream easier than my morning and my lunchtime lives. Thanks for catching it. We got near 1 p.m. here, Central Time Zone. You're probably up towards midnight or late at night, or it's after dinner time, your time. That's why I stream 3 times a day, because there's different time slots, different time zones that people can tune in. But thanks, Aisha. We appreciate you're part of the lunch bunch. Thanks for watching on YouTube. I'm glad your new job's going well. So hey, we'll briefly check out the bean, and then I got to go back to work. So it's kind of gloomy today, 39 degrees. I'm taking my gloves off because I'm getting hot. They got the ice skating rink here. It's all been drained of ice, and for about a month now nobody's been ice skating on it that long. But the Maggie Daly was still going yesterday. I assume the Maggie Daly ice skating ribbon still. I got to check to see when they're gonna end that. Eventually they'll close it for the season, which means we're on the we're on the spring side of winter. We still might have some snow and cold days, but we got 60s and 70s forecast through the weekend. It's going to rain, so maybe I'll wash all this dirt away. There's the bean. Great Bean of Chicago, Millennium Park. It's Anish Kapoor's work, the artist. You gonna buy a new car? Hey, there you go, Christy. That's okay. Yeah, do what you do. You know, Chicago will still be there. If you need a car, get a car. That's fine. Got to prioritize. But hey, hopefully we'll see you sometime. Thanks for checking out Chicago. That's good. Here's Scott's tuning in. Yeah. Morning and afternoon. That's good. Appreciate it. So here's the Great Bean of Chicago. There it is. Hey, we'll see if the listen. Hello, man in the bean. It's me. So here, yeah, Great Bean of Chicago. There's the old Montgomery Ward's tower. There's the Adventures in Babysitting movie. The old Smurfit Stone building, the stone container building. They call it 150 North Michigan now. This is the Bean of Chicago. Cloud Gate, there it is. Reflects the skyline. Yeah. Thanks, XRT. Thanks for being part of it here. Yeah. I'm just glad the YouTube app's working. We streaming clear the rear. It's good. We made it through an hour without it losing its resolution. There's the Great Bean of Chicago. So we'll head back to work. Yeah, you know, we'll if we ever can get a stream where I can get more than 100 likes, it'll help me get back into YouTube. It's just until I'm like in this purgatory, I'm being punished or something I did wrong. I'll take personal responsibility. When I went to New Orleans, somehow I messed up the nice hot streak we had on YouTube with getting 10 to 20,000 people viewing it, and they're either maybe it's that their servers are getting full. They're running out of space. It could be simply they're just curtailing their budget because they're like all companies that realize we might go through an economic downturn as a result of this war. Gas prices are going up. It's going to add to inflation. The longer it goes, if it's a quick war, the economic impact won't be as bad. But the longer it goes, I see nothing but bad things for the global economy. But I'm a pessimist, so don't go by what I say. Hey, there's the green line. There's the green line heading through the loop of Chicago. That's Wabash. We were just over there. See, we're just heading through Millennium Park. I'm going to head back to work. So we'll walk down through here. Hey, thanks for watching the live stream. We'll wrap it up here. We'll just go up to Michigan Avenue and we'll get that nice view to the Wrigley building. Got 1258. Hey, we covered some ground. We made it all the way to Roosevelt. I'll still post reruns. I still got reruns from Lunar New Year Parade in Chinatown. I still got Polar Plunge stuff. I still got New Orleans stuff to post. We got, I might post that Bulgarian tree. See, I learned something new. I learned something about Bulgarian culture. I had no idea. I didn't even know what that was. I thought it was a Valentine's Day tree. Yeah, have a beautiful Tuesday. Thanks, Lambie. Thanks, Christy M. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate it. Hey, look at this, Lambie. I know you're about ready to sign off. I am too. So what we got, March the 3rd, 2024. Here's little flowers. So sometimes we see the little blue crocuses in Lincoln Park early in March. These are the first flowers in Chicago I see voluntarily coming out of the ground. Now, I saw some daffodils and stuff in some protected areas near buildings. But here, March the 3rd in Millennium Park, near the Bean, we got some flowers. And I hope they don't get frozen. Like we'll have some warm days this weekend, and then we'll go through a hard freeze. There's buds coming out of the trees. All the plants are getting confused because we're having such a mild start to spring. But we'll take it. We already had enough cold days, I know. But we're still not out of the woods yet. I got a feeling we'll get to April and we'll have a blizzard. Yeah, see you, Christy, Lambie T. Everybody there, thanks for saying hello, part of the lunch bunch. I actually like a smaller audience. I think you guys, you know, we got a nice small group here. We can actually talk to each other. We don't have a bunch of trolls coming in, and we could just have a nice. That's the positive thing about staying under 100 likes is it doesn't send my content out to people that don't want to see it. Look at this car. It's got the anime advertising on it. My cousin Matthew would love that. He's got anime tattoos. So here we'll wrap out the stream here. We'll head up Michigan Avenue, north of Roosevelt. There's the Nederlander, loop of Chicago. Yeah, look at this view. Get this nice view to the Wrigley building. There it is. Yeah, hopefully we don't get a freeze. I know the lingering weather. Thanks, Lambie. So hey, Rainbow Cone, Cinnabon, Auntie Anne's. See how they added more store to this building too. They just keep adding. Up, up, up. Hey, they're making the pretzels. Yeah, popcorn, Garrett's popcorn. Yeah, get you a caramel cheddar mix. Here's the lid store. Get your Michael Jordan blazer. Get all your hats. Get your boba shake, Bubblicious. Stan's Donuts. Get your big donut. And we got Nando's, Nutella, Five Guys. There's the American Writers Museum right there. That's still. Look at this car backing up in the wrong lane. But here, we'll see you after 5 o'clock tonight. We'll do 5 o'clock tonight on TikTok. Sorry, Aisha, but I appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in on YouTube at lunch here. We'll cross the street and we'll end this stream. So we'll see you after 5 o'clock tonight on TikTok, and we'll see how it goes. So hey, Cat Staffer, Jason, have a great day. Lambie, thanks to everybody else. Grandma's Corner and One Golden Nubian, appreciate it. Thanks to everybody else. All right, we'll see you in a few hours. Have a good day. Yeah, and check out they're going to do the grand opening for the first shovel for the new soccer stadium there in the South Loop for the Chicago Fire. I think at 2 p.m. That's what Tony Moy said. So, okay, talk to you later. Have a great day. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Okay, see you, Sabrina Suburban Garden. Wayne, Aisha, Jaro. Thank you. No streaming issues. Good. All right, talk to you later. Okay, bye.